All right, so now I've got my brain installed. I got the first of the LED chains installed back here, but I want to create light along the entire side of the bike. And so I'm gonna just chain a bunch more. And so here's an example of the beginning of one of these chains, or at least a middle piece of one of these chains. And so the input is just a female connector, and then its output is going to have a male connector. And so each piece in the chain is going to have that. And the LEDs here are solder. This is a WS2815 strip, and so it has a backup data line. I am not wiring into that backup data line, so I only have 3 wires running instead of 4. The strips run fine. I also have this adhesive right here, shrink wrap tubing. And so it's got glue on the inside, so when you heat it up, the glue melts. And so you just put this over the LED strips, heat it up, and it waterproof seals both ends. And it's really nice, really easy to use. So I just finished the second link in the chain, I guess you could call it. So this has a female input and then 2 strips on it. And this is going to get a male output once I can wire it through some of the bike. And you can see in the background there, there's one of them already finished and installed. And so it just basically is up in there like that. This is for the other side. So I just need 2 identical ones. So yeah, it looks pretty good. And I installed it up there with some foil tape. So this stuff is really great. It holds on really tight, but also it's very reflective. So you can kind of see up there how reflective it is. Yay! Pretty cool. Okay, I got my next piece wired up. So every time I get a new piece wired up, I always test it so you can see it's working just fine with the rest of them. This piece, the wire from this one actually comes down behind the frame, down under here, and that's how this one's gonna be wired in. So this one's gonna be installed about right there like that. And it's gonna be hidden behind this plastic right here, which will cover it right there. So yeah, making progress. Testing out my final placement of strips. Gonna be behind the front plastics right there. You can see these ones on the ground representing what's gonna be kind of in the V shape right there that I was just showing a minute ago. Okay, I just learned something I thought I'd share. These LED strips that I bought come with this IP67 tube waterproofing. So it's actually just like this silicone tube. Some of them, the strips you see out there also come with IP65, which is actually like a molded rubber or something that is like permanently stuck to the strip. And I've been using this heat shrink, as shown previously, to cover and waterproof the strips. And on this one, since it's longer, I thought I'd use the tube that came with it. And I can't get this tube to stick to anything. I was using Gorilla Tape, and the tape just does not stick to this silicone tube. That E6000 glue won't stick to it either. So I am going to just completely forget those tubes and go with the heat shrink waterproofing from here on out, which is my own homemade waterproofing, but it works really well. So I finished making the last strip on the side here, and you can see I've got this bend actually soldered in. So bending the strip too much can damage it over time and it may not last as long, so I didn't want to do that. I'm going to install this button as the controller, so it's going to be wired into the Arduino. This is an encoder, a rotary encoder, but it's also got a click right there. And it really needs 4 wires. But this button's going to be installed up at the front left of the bike, up in this area. And so I need to wire it all the way to the trunk where my controller is. So that's why I have my tank lifted here. I've got this wire right here. This is a Cat5e wire, Ethernet cable. And it goes right here, you can see it, and then it pops out down here. So I actually went behind the frame. And then I'll install, connect this to the button, install the button up in here somewhere. And that way, when I'm writing, I could be on the move and still be able to change the colors or just shut it off entirely if I want. The last thing in this video I'll show you is the button installation went well. So there it is right there. Got a nice solid click, which I love. And a good clicky rotation as well. And so there's the button, the cap. It's really nice.